I am going to make a huge freeze dryer load of my caramelized onions. So what I have here is I've got 4 3-pound bags of onions. These are yellow onions, and I do have one 3-pound bag of sweet onions. But just normal yellow onions normally is what I would use, but I got these. I'm going to use those too as well. So 12 pounds of onions, and we are going to do them in my roaster. I can't find the lid for this, so I'm going to have to cover that with foil, but that's how we're going to do it. Of course, I'm going to use my bourbon whiskey because I've tried it both ways. I think I've done videos on it both ways. I'm not sure, but I think they come out much better with just a little bit of whiskey added in that, and the alcohol all cooks off, so you ain't got to worry about that. So let me get these out of the way. Let's get these open, and we are just going to start cutting onions. Top and tail it. Cut it in half. We'll peel it. And we're just going to slice them. I'm going to put them about 1/4 inch slices. Throw them into my cooker as I go. Alright, so I got a lot of onions to do, so I'm going to get that done off camera, and I'll be back when they're all cut up. Okay, there's my 12 pounds of onions. Get rid of some of those little flakes of skin in there if I see them. Alright, so there's my 12 pounds of onions, and to that we are going to add about 1/2 cup of bourbon, and that's going to really bring out the sweetness in those. I might top that up later, we'll see. And since I do not have a lid for this, I'm going to have to cover that with foil. I'm going to put this on about 175 on my roaster. We'll cook those for about 12 hours. I'll come in and I'll stir occasionally and reassess the lid on this. And I'll see you when they come out. Okay, I had these in my roaster for about 1.5 hours, and I just wasn't happy. I felt that it was losing too much moisture. So I have now transferred them to my 7-quart crock pot, and they just fit. Thankfully they cooked down a little bit in the roaster, so now they have just cooked. They just fit. But I am going to add, because a lot of that moisture went away, I'll add another 1/2 cup of bourbon to that, just to put some moisture back in there, because it was just all going out around the foil. So we'll let those cook for the rest of the 12 hours, and we'll see what they look like. I'll see you then. Okay, so those have been cooking 12 hours, and they are looking and smelling delicious. I'll All day long I've been smelling those. So let's turn that off. And we are going to tray them up. Look at those. Those look delicious or what? I think I'm going to try and put 2 pounds. We had 12 pounds of onion, but there's a lot of moisture been taken out of them, plus my offcuts. So let's try 2 pounds per tray. That's actually only not even 1 pound yet. I mean, this is what we're going to do is this is going to be my full freeze dryer load. So we'll balance them out anyway. Okay, so I got about 1.5 pounds per tray. So there's my 4 trays. We'll get those cooled down a little bit more and then into the freezer. Get them frozen solid. And next time you see it, they'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. Okay, there we go. That's my, what did we buy? 3, 6, 79, 12 pounds of onions that I caramelized and trayed up and freeze dried, and they ran for over 40 hours. We did have a power outage, so that I added a little bit more time on that. So here we go, some beautiful caramelized onions. So we're going to package these 2 ways. Some that I'm going to use as garnish. So I'm going to put some in this half-gallon jar. That is going to be my half-gallon jar. We'll just put a lid on that for now, and then we'll put some O2 absorbers in that. So I'm just going to put these in a half-gallon bag or 2. Okay, so we got these all sealed up, and I put 2 300cc O2 absorbers in those. I got 3 bags of those. I'm going to leave these sitting out, but we're going to go into these and do a taste test here. I don't know if we'll do it tonight or the next day using these, but let me just tell you, these are, they are melt in your mouth delicious. Sweet caramelized onions. So I'll see you in a minute, and we'll do a taste test with using these. Okay, we are ready for my dinner. So I got me a nice chicken salad, tossed salad here, and I like bacon bits, so we're going to put some of that on there. I'm going to put some of my favorite dressing in the world, Western, on there. And we are going to top it off with my beautiful caramelized onions. Since this bowl is pretty full, I'm going to put a little on there till I get to eating in that. But let me tell you, these are just perfect caramelized onions. They could be eaten just like they are, and they are delicious just like this dry. They're going to be a nice addition to my salad here. So let's get some lettuce going. And some onion in there. Oh man, those just complement this salad beautifully. Much better than a crouton. I better give me a nice thumbnail for that, don't you think? Let's put some more on there. Check that out. Check that out. Does that look good or what? Can I just tell you? It is delicious. So, I am going to enjoy this salad off camera, but I just wanted to show you one of the many uses of your caramelized onions is to make it for a salad topper. Yeah, that's one good use for it right there is eat them plain, right out of that jar, or put them on a nice tossed salad. Absolutely gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try these caramelized onions. They came out perfect, so try that recipe the way I did it. And if you don't have a roasting tin, which my roasting tin didn't have a lid, as we saw earlier, you could probably put that full 12 pounds into your 7-quart crock pot, but you might have to fill the crock pot, turn it on low for a few hours, and let the first part of the onions shrink up a bit, and then finish filling the crock pot with the rest of your onions. So you kind of add a little extra stage to that, and then do them on the slow cooker for, what did I say, 12 hours. And I put a cup of bourbon in those, and you cannot taste the alcohol in this at all. Obviously the alcohol would have evaporated in the cooking, but what that does is that for some reason it just makes these onions just so much sweeter. So I highly recommend that you do that. I've tried it both ways, and I'm stuck with the bourbon because it really brings out the flavor, sweetness of the onions. So there you have it. Another one from John and Bibbs. I look forward to seeing you next time.